Who has the best parties, Prince or Diddy?
Ooh, that's so tough. Because both of them know how to.
They're legendary
It's
partiers.
different. It's different. I wonder if I never went to a party where they did it together.
The world would
That would
probably
have been,
end.
yeah, it would have.
Not Janelle Monae talking about how Prince's parties and Diddy's parties felt like two completely different worlds. After everything that's been revealed about Diddy's gatherings, was she only describing the atmosphere? Or was there a deeper meaning behind her words? With what we now know about the allegations against Diddy, her comment seems to carry more weight. And it appears she might be ready to speak up soon. Rumors suggest Janelle could share her own experience of what really happened at Diddy's so-called flavor camp, and the claims are said to be shocking. For context, Janelle Monae actually began her music career under Diddy's Bad Boy Records. Her first EP and her first 2 studio albums were released through his label. It's said that Diddy was blown away after seeing her perform, describing it as a spiritual moment, almost like witnessing someone catch the Holy Ghost. That performance is what convinced him to sign her to Bad Boy in 2006.
On MySpace.
Wow.
Yeah, I found her on MySpace, and she happened to be also working with Big Boy from Outkast. And I called Big Boy because I hit her on MySpace and she didn't hit me back. So, so I had to use other angles, and I finally tracked her down. And we made this unique deal where she has a record label, and you know, she does her own thing. And I'm just here to support her, and she's one of like our generation's greatest voices, now with your recording artist,
Yes.
who I must say is one of the greatest voices I've ever heard.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yes,
he's amazing.
When Janelle spoke about her time working with Diddy, she explained that their deal wasn't a typical artist label setup. She maintained complete control over her creative direction, while Diddy simply believed in her vision and backed her ideas. She thanked him for his support, saying he was inspired by her style and even allowed her to lead her own label, the Wonderland Art Society. Their collaboration meant Diddy helped promote her music, including co-releasing her first full album, The Archandroid. He also threw a big event in New York to celebrate her next project, The Electric Lady. During that celebration, Diddy called her the hardest working woman in the industry. In another interview, he insisted that he never tried to control her. He admitted that at the time, he was maturing and learning to let go of his control freak tendencies. He said he was beginning to realize that other people could have creative visions he didn't fully understand, but he could still support them and play his role. While Diddy gave her a platform, Janelle often credits Big Boy from Outkast for guiding her early on. She said his mentorship helped shape who she became as an artist. Big Boy was one of the first big names to notice her talent, helping her gain exposure through his Purple Ribbon label. But his impact wasn't just about opening doors. He also taught her important lessons, like staying close to people who truly believe in you and want to see you succeed.
And I think with Big Boy was just, I mean, I gotta give it to him. You know, the reason why Puff even knew about me was because of the work that Big Boy gave to me. I was singing backup. I was also on Idlewild. You know, he was really, really promoting me with Purple Ribbon. He taught me the importance of, I think.
Janelle has often shared how much Prince impacted her, not only musically, but also in how she navigates the industry. She said one of his most important lessons was the importance of owning her work. Prince pushed her to know her worth and take control of the business side of her career, making sure she got what she deserved. But Prince's influence went beyond contracts and rights. He stood for complete artistic freedom. Janelle said he inspired her to create fearlessly, without trying to fit into a certain mold or follow any specific label.
Prince is like, obviously, like the blueprint for, you know, owning your, you know, like as an artist, not being afraid to fight for what you are owed on the bid.
Back to Diddy. After hearing the way he used to speak about Janelle, people can't help but wonder if she ever noticed anything about his alleged behavior. She once described their working relationship as one built on trust and shared creativity, but did she ever witness anything behind the scenes? And if she did, was the distance she later kept from him only about growing as an artist, or was there more to it? Many believe that when Janelle made that comment about Prince's and Diddy's parties having completely different vibes, it was her quiet way of saying she knows more than she's revealing. Prince's name has already surfaced in Diddy's ongoing legal troubles. In court, a former assistant named Mia shared a story about a 2010 party, saying Prince's security had to step in after Diddy allegedly became aggressive with Cassie. Mia claimed that earlier that night, Diddy told her to stay at a hotel with Cassie while he went to see his kids. Later, they heard about a party at Prince's house and decided to go. They danced, watched Prince perform, and had a good time, until Diddy suddenly showed up. The two panicked and ran, with Cassie falling into some bushes on Prince's lawn. Mia said Diddy caught up to her and got physical, only stopping when Prince's security intervened. The next day, Mia said HR informed her she was being suspended without pay for attending Prince's party with Cassie. So, yes, Diddy and Prince partied together, but it's also worth mentioning that Prince himself has faced similar accusations over the years.
Wrote that song.
Yeah.
Did you ever actually meet Prince?
We did meet once, but we didn't get on too well. We tried to beat each other up.
Really?
We didn't get on too well. No.
You tried to beat each other up?
Well, it was more he tried to beat me up and I was defending myself. But
No.
Why?
because
Hang on, that doesn't sound like a joke. That sounds serious.
Oh, it's not a joke. No, it's not a joke at all. It was very frightening.
It's hard to ignore the irony that Janelle's two biggest mentors were Prince and Diddy. That alone could hint at the kind of things she may have seen or heard along the way. And maybe, just maybe, that's part of why she never reached an even higher level of fame. Some believe her rise might have been held back, either because Diddy felt she had served her purpose, or because she became aware of things she wasn't meant to know. Plenty of artists who've worked with Diddy have shared troubling experiences. Tanya Blount is one example. She later admitted that had she known how things would play out, she would have never signed with Bad Boy. But once contracts were in place, she was stuck, and it cost her dearly. Tanya said Diddy was initially involved in her second album, but his interest faded. After 2 years, only 2 tracks were released: I Love Him and The Last Time We Made Love. Her career stalled and never recovered. Craig Mack also had his share of bad experiences with Diddy. He once revealed that he was recording music for someone he didn't name outright, but it was clear who he meant. Despite working on songs, he never received payment. When he eventually stopped recording, that person allegedly started threatening him. Craig said he even arranged a meeting and brought a friend for protection. After that, the threats ended, but he always believed there had been plans to harm him.
I said, all right, meet me up there at 7 o'clock. And I went and got one of my man, I'm not gonna mention his name either. He came with me up there, okay? And they saw him and they fell back because they was gonna do something to me, but they didn't. So we talked about it, came to definite, look, no cash, no record. I'm not gonna be sitting here going in the studio all night, every night, busting my ass.
Sadly, Craig Mack passed away at just 47 years old. Before his death, he made it clear that he wanted nothing to do with Diddy, not even at his funeral. That alone speaks volumes about how he truly felt about their history. Another artist, Carl Thomas, explained why he eventually walked away from Bad Boy Records. After his brother passed away, Diddy never reached out to offer comfort or sympathy. Instead, about a week later, he called Carl just to ask when he'd be back in the studio, saying he had some hit songs waiting. There was no real concern for the fact that Carl was still in mourning. And then there's Lil Jerome, who had around 13 tracks ready for an album release. But before the project could move forward, he suffered a nervous breakdown and ended up leaving Bad Boy as well.
I think nobody really knew for sure what was going on because, I went to a doctor and he kind of like examined, he put stuff down in my nose, he gave me all kinds of medication. He said it was allergies and he didn't know. And then later on, actually it wasn't until I got released from Bad Boy that I found out that it was reflux. So nobody knew what it was. I didn't know, my dad didn't know, the company didn't know. And the album just never came out. And eventually I did have a nervous breakdown.
Another name that often comes up is Mace. After his rough exit from Bad Boy Records, he left the music world and later returned as a preacher. He spoke openly about how his faith gave him new meaning and direction in life. Mace even said that if the devil could use someone like Diddy to cause harm, then God could use him to fight back and bring something better to the world. His message wasn't only about spirituality, it was also a direct response to what he felt had gone wrong in his career. For Mace, this transformation became a way to heal and push back against the negativity he experienced.
Use him aggressively, and I want you to know God could use me aggressively. I want you to also know you may not like my delivery. You might say, well, listen here, why did you say it that way? I cannot speak to people outside of the church the way I speak to people inside the church. I gotta know my audience. Isn't that what you would say? If you're talking to a people, the first thing you gotta know is your audience. And I also want you to know that the thing that's really stirring up so much confusion is because for years, these guys have organized a mass organized effort to slander my name behind the scenes. So every time I say something, you're just seeing my part.
Speaking of artists who turn to religion after their time with Bad Boy, Lon is another name that often comes up. He seemed to take a similar path, possibly searching for peace after everything he went through with the label. And that doesn't even touch on all the music groups whose careers were completely derailed while signed to Bad Boy. Or the tragedy of Biggie, whose death remains surrounded by unanswered questions. Some even believe his passing might not have been entirely natural. But one thing many people agree on, the person who probably witnessed the darkest side of it all was Usher.
I mentioned that earlier, that he said about Stevie J. The Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a certain feeling, and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay. And I don't mean to mention other people's platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business, right? I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to...
There have been claims that Kim Porter had written a tell-all book before her death, and in it, she allegedly exposed some shocking truths. One report even says that Usher's mom once confronted Diddy after finding out what had been going on. As for how Kim discovered these things, it said she suspected Diddy was cheating on her and decided to check the security footage from Uptown Records. While reviewing it, she allegedly came across a video of Diddy and Andre Harrell involved in something completely unexpected. She kept that footage. But that wasn't all. According to some reports, Kim also had recordings of Diddy allegedly doing disturbing things to Usher. She had those videos saved as well. Strangely, just before her death, someone reportedly broke into her home and stole only 2 laptops. Nothing else was touched. Usher himself has previously spoken about some of the things he witnessed at Puffy's Flavor Camp. And let's just say, his stories raised a lot of eyebrows.
To New York City. And I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you
New
over
York
to something
City.
called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it
Camp.
was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I
Come
mean,
on.
but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at.
Nearly all of Diddy's former artists have shared similar stories about what they went through while working with him. That's why many believe Janelle likely saw some of those things too. Now, there's growing speculation that Janelle Monae might finally be ready to speak out about what really happened during her time around Diddy. Some say she's been dropping quiet hints, suggesting she witnessed more than she ever revealed. Those private experiences could explain why she gradually pulled away, not just from Diddy, but from the entire Bad Boy circle. There are even claims that Janelle feels her career was deliberately held back. Despite her immense talent and originality, some believe powerful people, possibly tied to what she knows, kept her from reaching the global success she truly deserved. As for the full truth, we'll just have to wait and see. In the meantime, share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Janelle was affected by the so-called bad boy curse? Or what do you believe her connection with Diddy was really like?